What's going on, everyone? Welcome to cartoon season. I'm Tyler, and this is, of course, where we talk about all types of animation on a bit of an anime run, I just realized. But other than that, there's also a ton of cartoons we do, shows, movies, all that stuff. And today, we're talking about ReLife. As you can see, ReLife, great show, good one. Only one season, very sometimes disappointing. You only get one season of a show, you want to get more, but I think this one wraps it up very nicely. One thing with this, do make sure you got the OVAs. Those are very important. I think it's only like a few extra episodes, but because this show ends in a way that it's like it feels kind of like a weird ending, and then you watch the OVAs that continue it, and it's like, oh, okay, gotcha. So bit of a disclaimer there. Make sure to watch the OVAs too, because they are very important to the rest of the show. Because they are the rest of the show. And yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about just a couple things. I do want to get into whether you would participate in this program or not, and then also if this was a satisfying ending or not. And before I do that, make sure to go to the Tiger T YouTube channel, of course, as well as the, what's the other one? All the different podcast places. Links will be in the description for all that good stuff. And then also there is a Tiger T Twitter and my own Twitter, if that's your thing, if social media is your thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get into the actual episode. Like I said, would you participate in this? So the ReLife program is, you being able to go back to high school, I guess, and reliving it. You look like a high schooler, you still talk like a high schooler, but you still have all your knowledge up until that point. Like your mind doesn't get wiped for the last, 10 years of life that you've lived since high school. You got all that stuff, but you got to get thrust back into it. So Arata goes back to the third year of high school, which is the final year for them. It's a little different than in here in America. We got 4 years, but it's it's different. And yeah, he goes back to third year of high school, which is very weird for him, because he hasn't been in high school in quite a while. And getting thrust, I think, is the right term, because he has trouble with his schoolwork. Because you always think like, if I went back, I know everything now. I learned everything. Even go back to like middle school, right, where it's like, you've lived through middle school, you lived through high school, maybe you did a little bit of college. You're like, oh, if I got thrust back into middle school after all this time, I get aces everywhere, right? Not true. You forget everything. You don't know how anything goes. Even with like math, it's all like systems and stuff. They got histories. I don't remember any of that. Why would I do that? So I think that's nice there, because you get to get that realization that you either had going into this and now you're laughing at Arata, or you kind of thought the same thing, but now you start thinking about it as well, and you're like, oh yeah, I probably wouldn't do well either. Yeah, trouble with schoolwork. Also, being romantic with students is off limits. You can't do that, right? I think technically you're like allowed to, but like morally it feels weird. And then also with the whole thing of like, they're gonna forget you. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. Obviously friendships are okay, but like, yeah, for all intents and purposes, that aspect of it is pretty much off limits. And even for Arata too, like whenever it's the hint of like some weird feelings, he's always like, nope, can't do that. I am 30 or whatever. I don't remember how old he is, but yeah, it's been like 10 years since it's not good. And also he has to deal with all of his friends' baggage. You have Kazuomi, you have Reina, you have Chizuru, all the things that they're going through. So just with that overall, do you think you'd participate in a program like that? I think no. I think that it's definitely targeting people that aren't living a life that they want to live, but I also think it has a lot to do with your own inner psyche. right? Like if you've fallen and you can't get up, if you've fallen and just mentally and you're in a rut and you don't really think that it can get any better than this. You don't think you can do any better than this because this is just what life is now. I think that's why this program exists. I don't think it exists for people that are doing fine and they're just like, oh, let's go to high school one more time, because that doesn't really prove anything, because the whole point of the program is for you to improve as a human, and then it's also nice to see you improving other people's lives too. So I think someone who's very happy, this program is not geared towards them, it wouldn't work. But someone like Arata, who kind of has fallen, he doesn't have a job, he's been pretending to have a job for a while with all of his other friends, I guess, and who just can't get on his feet. This program works because now he gets to go through high school again and have some struggles there, but also grow as a person, and get some new perspective on things. That's going to help him when he goes back to his adult life. So I'm interested to see if anyone out there, do you think you would participate? Not with that preface I just added that you're doing bad in your life, but just in the fact of, do you think you would participate? Do you think you would go back to high school for a year, and then do you think that would be helpful to you at all? Do you think you'd gain any new perspective? Do you think you would, that would change the way you live some aspects of your life? I don't. I would not go back. It wasn't bad. I mean, especially the senior year of high school, not bad at all. That's where really, me personally, found like my friend group. Easiest year or two. That was the year that I took the most time off. Just because at that point you kind of know everything. That you're gonna kind of do. I think you're planning. I think there's a lot of pressure, but I think there's a point at which you kind of start coasting. But I don't know about any like new perspective or like changing the ways you do certain things. I don't really know that would work. That would happen. But see if anyone out there feels any differently. Because I think time travel is always a tricky thing, and this isn't quite time travel. This is a lot easier to understand, honestly, because time travel never makes sense. But this is just like, oh, you just take a pill and you look like a high schooler. That's all it is. And then you go back and there's weird stuff with like people magically forgetting who you are, but also this would be different because you'd be going into high school now. Okay, that changes things, because I was thinking time travel. Going back into high school now with a bunch of people you don't know. Nah, I wouldn't like that. Nah, because especially senior year, that's tough. Because all the other people have already grown to each other. Because like all my friends I knew before senior year. So like, yeah. Because like my main friend group, I knew two of them a little in middle school, but then really in freshman year. And then my good friend Raymond, I met in freshman year as well. So it's like, that'd be tough. I don't know. I think I would definitely not do it. Having to try to make a whole new, try to insert myself in a whole new friend group in senior year, that's got to be difficult. But yeah, let me know. Let me know if you would do it. Let me know what you think the challenges would be. Let me know why you would do it, because I think people who would say yes, definitely, would do it because they want to do some things differently, but yeah, and then we get into the satisfying ending. The show was great. I loved it. I really did. But the ending wasn't bad, but I'm interested to see what you guys think about the ending, because I think there could be some stuff about it that was kind of weird and people may not have loved. Some stuff that could be kind of controversial. I don't know. Again, I preface this, love the show. But we do have Arata and Chizuru have fallen for each other, but they don't confess, right? It's so long where they definitely fall for each other, and then we're kind of both their heads, where it's like they don't think the other would love each other, but then it's also tough because they're both subjects. So it's like it double sucks for them, because so let's just say, for example, that Chizuru was not a subject, right? then Arata, after the ReLife, he would still remember her. He still remembers everybody. It's that everyone forgets you. So if you're a ReLife subject, you are wiped from everyone else's memory, right? Because now you're an adult, and now, because that would cause complications of like them wanting to look for you, and it'd be a whole thing. So I mean, that would suck that Chizuru would forget him, but at least he would be able to remember her. He'd be able to remember all the good times he had with her, all that. But since they're both subjects, it like overlaps like a Venn diagram. So now everyone forgets about Arata, but on the other side, everyone forgets about Chizuru, even each other. So like Arata still remembers everyone else, but he can't remember Chizuru because ReLife subjects get wiped from your brain. Same thing with Chizuru. So now Chizuru remembers everyone, all the friends that she made, Kazuomi, Reina. But, well, does Reina count? Because Reina is also like a worker. I don't know. But she can't remember Arata because he was a subject. So it's like, it just double sucks because they're the ones they want to remember. They want to remember each other the most out of everyone, and they can't. And that's so frustrating. At some point, when they're both there, they do go on a date, and they buy phone straps for each other and confess, which is very nice. It's a very anime thing. Them buying those straps for each other. It's like, oh, I want something to remember you by, and I think, again, at this point, with each other being a subject, they don't know what the other one is. I think Chizuru has had suspicions that Arata's a subject, but I'm pretty sure Arata's just dumb. Arata's just like, I don't know, whatever, I don't know. But I think they do kind of keep that in mind for each other as well, where it's like, they want each other to have that, because they maybe don't want to forget each other. Or maybe they want a piece of them living on, even though Arata knows that Chizuru's not going to remember him. Like, he'll still know that, but she'll still have that, and that'll be a piece of me, something like that. And then they confess. Very nice. It finally happens. But, better late than never with things like these. And then the ending happens, where their ReLives were successful. They both had successful ReLives, and they're able to go further. Both of them, I think at this point we did see Chizuru's beginning to it as well, but it's a standard, like, oh, now you can get a job at the ReLife place, and your life will be turned around because of this experience. It's very nice. We see a little bit of the effects that, Arata has had on the other, the other kids. So it's honestly a really nice ending, except for the fact that we know that they're not going to remember each other. Like, that is the one dark cloud that's hanging over this whole situation. And probably the hardest moment of the entire show is when it is ending, the final night. We have Reina, obviously the one who is giving the news and helping out Chizuru through this last moment. And, we got to take the pill to have them go back and all that stuff. And then when you wake up, everything will be different, classic, right? It's just Chizuru is so smart, and it's just tough because she decided that she was going to write on her hand. What did she write? She wrote something like I forget what she wrote. It was something like, "Don't forget about Arata," or it might even be a message. It might have just been Arata's full name or something, And she did that because she knew she was going to forget him. So when she wakes up, looks at her hand, sees the name, something might have clicked, or at the very least, she would have been able to find him. And again, there's no confirmation that they knew that each other were subjects. So Chizuru could have also been going off of that, where it's like, okay, well, I know that he's going to remember me. Oh, no, wait, it's the other way around. Wait, hold on. I'm thinking. No, I guess not. I guess because yeah, so the subject remembers everything. So I guess that at that point she was going off the assumption that Arata was a subject. Because if he wasn't, she would remember him. Because the subject remembers everything. It's the other people who forget. So I guess, yeah, no. She was going on the assumption. And, because, yeah, I don't think it was confirmed to either of them. That's like against the rules, right? Like they can't actually say, I think it was very heavily implied. And Chizuru was also, again, very smart, so she figured it out. But yeah, she was definitely going on that assumption. Okay. But it was just a tough scene because we're so close. We had, I think like Reina went to the bathroom or something. She came back and Chizuru was laying down. She was sleeping. We looked over. We saw that she took the pill. And, we do know that one of the side effects of taking that pill is, you fall asleep very quickly. So it was like, oh, it's a nice moment. Okay, we did everything. Reina was going to clean up. And then she just looked over. Like, I think Chizuru might have shifted in her bed or something. We looked over and we saw the writing on her hand. And it's just like, oh, man. And even Reina was like, you're too smart for this. You are too smart to make such a dumb mistake like that. Like, why didn't you write it somewhere else? Why didn't you write it on, like, your stomach or something? Somewhere that I wouldn't be able to see it if I just took, if I just took a glance at you. Because now that I saw it, I have to erase it. I have to take it off. You could have easily gotten away with this if you wrote it somewhere else, or even if you wrote it in, like, if you made a note in your phone, like your notes app or something, like something smarter than this. Your hand, like, the only worst part she could have written it is like on her face, like, and I just love that line by Reina, like, you are too smart for this. You are too smart to make such a dumb move, But again, I think in that moment, her feelings for Arata clouded her judgment, and her only thought in that moment was, I have to do something so that when I wake up, I remember his name. And it's just a sad scene, I think Reina starts crying because she doesn't want to erase it from her hand, because she knows that they're in love, and she's just, because now she has to do something, it's just so tough. It's honestly one of the best scenes in the whole show, and it's so good. And then we fast forward to at the ReLife company dinner, because they both now work at ReLife. They meet each other, as if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the little screenshot I put on here. They now meet each other, and again, they don't remember each other, so they're just kind of talking, and they're kind of, talking about their job here and all that stuff, and they start talking about their past experiences, and they both hit on the fact that they were previous subjects, and that's like, ooh, okay, that's interesting. And through a comment about fireworks. Yes, fireworks, because they both went to see the fireworks, which was a really big moment in their relationship for them, was that trip to the fireworks. Their memories come crashing back, and the word crashing is an understatement. They come barreling back to both of their minds. They start flashing, and they see the fireworks. They start seeing each other's faces. I think Arata is the one who looks down at the phone strap, and it's just a great moment of them looking at each other and them saying each other's names, and it's just like, oh, they remember, and then it kind of ends without anything further than that. But like, I think the ending was great. I think there was some things that people could not like, about it. Maybe, some things about how easy it was or whatever, but I think it was super satisfying. I don't really think we had to see any more than that. I don't think we had to see them like have a conversation about how they're both subjects. Now they're remembering each other, and about how now they're gonna go try and find, go and find Kazuomi, and try to, no, we don't have to do that. I think that them just being able to come full circle in their relationship, and again, there could be some implications after this. maybe this wasn't supposed to happen, and ReLife does not allow this to happen, but I don't really think we need to see that story. I don't think we need to see this season 2 to what happens now. And no, I think it ended in a very nice way. They remembered each other. We still going through all the trauma of not remembering each other and all the lengths that they both tried to go through. I think Chizuru especially, trying to reverse this stuff. But yeah, I definitely think it was nice. And yeah, there was no season 2 to this, so no season predictions as I did in the last couple episodes. But please let me let me know what you thought of the show. As a whole, we thought of the pacing of it, we thought of the different characters, them helping each other out, the realizations, the somewhat mystery, this program as a whole, and then the ending. If you thought the ending was nice, if you would want to see a season 2, what you think a season 2 would actually be. Because honestly, if they were to do season 2, I would watch it. And I think there's some fun stuff they could explore, especially with them both being previous subjects and now they work for ReLife. I think there's some fun stuff there. But yeah, that is the show. That is the ReLife. And I loved it. It was a great show. So with that, please check out some of the other episodes. Like I said, you can go to Tiger to YouTube or on other podcast platforms, and lots of other episodes. I have probably 20 episodes, maybe more at this point. Again, cartoons, anime, whether it be movies or shows. And please go check out another podcast I do with my friend Raymond. It's called Untitled and Unfocused, where we talk about mostly anime, but also some video games, movies, books, all types of stuff. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So until next time, fix your life around. I feel like that sounded a lot more like attacking, like fix your life. No, but live your life in a way that you want to live it. Everyone's life is different, and I think as long as you're having fun in some way or another, I think you're doing good. And other people struggle with stuff, but just know that there's people there that can help you, and make your life a better place, and vice versa. And you don't really have to have a ReLife program to start over, just have fun, and let me know what other stuff other shows, other movies you would like me to discuss.